It's Wednesday, October 15th.
The problem is the grievances take time.
Dozens of healthcare employees say they're missing money on their paychecks, and they want the province to step in with emergency funding.
That vaccine is based on the latest circulating subvariant that they can include.
Saskatchewan's influenza and COVID-19 vaccination campaign officially underway.
We're trying to build something special here. It's dream come true kind of stuff, man, and don't take it lightly at all.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders lock up their head coach and general manager for another 2 years. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummel.
And I'm Kayleen Sawatsky. We hope your day is off to a great start.
And you have a lot of thoughts about Dancing with the Stars last
Yeah, how much time do we have? 5 minutes? Or
30 seconds, go.
All right, so Robert Irwin, amazing. Alex Earl, incredible. Dylan
That's who I accidentally picked in the pool.
Yes.
I thought it was somebody else.
You might win, but I picked Robert Irwin, so it's basically you against me here.
Oh, well, hey, that's what else is new. Let's get to news. We'll get back to weather in just a minute. Let's start with this. The union representing Canada Post workers moving to rotating strikes. Canadians can expect to see some mail, but there will be continued delays, and a number of services that rely on physical mail are facing some uncertainty. SGI is reminding you to hold on to your temporary license or ID cards while they wait for permanent ones to come in the mail. It's a protocol which has existed long before the Canada Post strike, but certainly comes in handy in instances like this one.
When you come to get your new driver's license or identification document, SGI will write you a 90-day temporary driver's license or ID card that you can use for a time period of 90 days while you await your official document to come in the mail.
SGI says the rotating strikes will hopefully allow for any documents stuck in the mail to reach their owners soon. The Saskatchewan NDP is going after the Saskatchewan Health Authority, saying rural residents were yet again misdirected between two closed emergency rooms. The NDP says that the ER at the hospital in the town of Kipling was closed at times over the Thanksgiving long weekend. They say a notice on the hospital door redirected those seeking emergency medical care to an ER in the town of Arcola, which was also closed. The NDP says this is the 5th time this summer that such misdirection has occurred, putting lives at risk.
You drive 24 kilometers to your closest hospital, which is in Kipling. You show up at the hospital, you see a simple note on the door that directs you to go another 54 kilometers to Arcola, Saskatchewan. And then when you get to Arcola, Saskatchewan, there's another note on another closed ER door that directs you to go a further 100 kilometers to either Weyburn or Estevan.
The SHA said in a statement that communities expect accurate information about emergency care access and acknowledge concerns about service disruptions. They're now reviewing reporting processes and identifying opportunities for improvements. Now to a high-profile trial in Saskatoon we've been following for quite some time. Jeremy Dodge is on this for us. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning, Daryl. Yeah, this Saskatoon manslaughter trial. The Crown and defense have closed their cases and are preparing closing arguments in the Roderick Sutherland trial. Sutherland has pleaded not guilty to manslaughter, unlawful confinement, and offering an indignity to human remains in connection to the death of 30-year-old Megan Gallagher 5 years ago. Court heard Gallagher was killed in a Saskatoon garage while restrained to a chair. 9 people were charged in connection to Gallagher's death. Lawyers have filed written arguments asking the Saskatchewan Court of Appeal to uphold the judge's decision in a high-profile case involving the death of a child. It was in September 2021. Bailey Maurice was killed while crossing a Saskatoon crosswalk. The driver, Taylor Kennedy, admitted to using marijuana and magic mushrooms the day before. Kennedy was charged with impaired driving, exceeding the prescribed blood concentration of THC, causing death. Last December, a judge stayed the charge, ruling Kennedy was not tried within a reasonable time. The Crown is appealing, arguing court backlogs and case complexity caused the delay. An appeal hearing is scheduled for November 5th in Regina. All right, Daryl, back to you.
Jeremy, thank you. The investigation continuing into the fire in Regina's Heritage neighborhood that destroyed several properties. It began at a construction of a condo site in Victoria Avenue, a block north of the General Hospital. The condo units were quickly engulfed in flames, as you see on your screen, quickly began spreading to other homes. 2 houses were also destroyed, along with a backyard garage across the alley. Residents inside the nearby home say they could feel the heat.
My kids and dogs and I had to run out of the house. Like, a guy just ran into our back door telling us to leave. And it was a huge inferno. The house was really hot. I don't know. We just stood over there and watched everything burn.
Fire investigators have begun searching for clues as to a cause. No damage estimate just yet. Dramatic scene along 8th Street in Saskatoon following a fire at a drive-thru. 2 people were stuck inside that truck on your screen, waiting for their order at an A&W just before 7:30 Saturday night. When flames started to show up in the vehicle, it didn't take long, as you see, for them to spread. The pair was able to get out safely despite the fireball in the drive-thru. It did not spread to the restaurant thanks to the quick work of those firefighters you're seeing on your screen. An investigation is now underway. The province says temporary housing units are being delivered to Dare Beach to support residents displaced because of wildfires earlier this year. Hundreds of homes were destroyed by fires this past summer, as you'll remember, which caused about 20,000 people to be displaced across the province. Dare Beach was one of the hardest hit communities. On Tuesday, the province says there are currently 26 housing units in the community, with an additional 5 units arriving over the next few weeks. In a statement, Dare Beach Council says the temporary housing units are critical in supporting residents, thanking the town of Creighton for providing space for housing units provided by the SPSA. The province says cleanup on 218 lots is nearly complete, and over half of the lots have been backfilled. Alberta teachers are rallying to try to get to support in anticipation of their strike dragging on.
A lot of doubts that the province is going to come anything close to what we want.
The 2 sides sat down yesterday for the first time since the strike started. There is a new offer on the table from the teachers, but no one has shared any details in that proposal. Teachers have already voted down an offer which includes a 12% raise over 4 years. Alberta has opened an online portal for parents to claim subsidies. They can receive $30 for each missed school day for every child under the age of 12. Teachers are planning to hold more rallies throughout this week. Voters in Newfoundland and Labrador have chosen change, electing the Progressive Conservatives to form a majority government.
We didn't quit. We kept believing in each other because we knew it wasn't over until that final buzzer and all the votes are counted.
PCs led by Premier-designate Tony Wakeham took 21 seats. That's just enough for a majority in the 40-seat legislature. On a night that saw the lead go back and forth, the majority wasn't sealed until results from the last district came in. The PCs won by campaigning on issues like affordability, safety, and a promise to review the Churchill Falls hydro deal. The result ends a decade of Liberal dominance in that province. Katy Perry has now made a few comments that many people believe about former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. As you probably have seen, there are new photos allegedly of the couple on a yacht in Santa Barbara during her Lifetime's tour stop in London this past weekend. Katy Perry was praising England, saying, "No wonder I fall for Englishmen all the time," then added, "but not anymore." The show was about a day after the new pictures surfaced and a fan proposed to Perry. She answered, "I wish you asked me 48 hours ago." Interesting. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have locked up their head coach and general manager. Head coach Corey Mace and general manager and VP of football operations Jeremy O'Day signing 2-year extensions to keep them in the club in Regina and through the 2018 season or 2028 season. Mace has a 21-12-1 record as the head coach of the club and has taken them to back-to-back West finals. O'Day has been the architect of the club since 2019. Both say they're very happy to remain in Riderville a little longer.
We're trying to build something special here, and obviously with the hiring of Corey and kind
kind of the trajectory that we're going is obviously what we're trying to achieve. You know, we're trying to achieve home playoff games and put ourselves in positions to win Grey Cup. So certainly excited to continue to do that.
When you sit back there and you look at, you know, how fortunate that we are as a family and myself personally to be able to come to work and represent this organization and this fan base, the historic meaning of what that S means to this league and obviously this province. It's dream come true kind of stuff, man, and don't take it lightly at all.
Friday night kickoff in Winterpeg. Winter's not on the way here, right?
Well, this week we are seeing some more rain, but no, for right now we're not seeing a lot of that snow in the forecast. Rain on the way for parts of the south in the province today, though. Temperature is going to be a little bit cooler as well. Right now in Regina we are sitting at 6 degrees, but the high expected later is only 9 degrees, so we're not going to be getting too much warmer than where we're sitting right now. This morning view, by the way, it's brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. 4 degrees to wake us up in Saskatoon, and we are seeing some cloud cover. The sun not going to be fully up for just over an hour. Radar and satellite looking pretty unremarkable this morning. We didn't see a whole lot yesterday, just a few patches, very small ones of green on your screen of where we picked up some very light precipitation, but we do have some more on the way later on. And you can also see that we have some increased cloud cover in the province today. We're going to be seeing more of that cloud cover in the afternoon down towards the south. However, this on your screen is at about 5:45 p.m. We do see some more of that rain coming up from the United States. Regina could be seeing some of that rain again late in the afternoon and into the overnight hours. Swift current also likely to be seeing some of that precipitation later on in areas around Assiniboia. Now into those overnight hours, we see a larger part of that system coming up from the United States impacting areas around Estevan. Those yellow and orange colors on your screen could indicate some storm activity. As we continue on into tomorrow morning, we also could be seeing some more of that rain clearing up in the late afternoon and then returning for parts of the southeast late into the evening. That's about 9:45 on your screen. Then we see some more rain coming in from the northern part of Alberta and then still impacting the southeast into those overnight hours. Now, current temperatures showing that we have La Ronge at 0 degrees, -5 to wake us up in Spiritwood, 1 degree in Hudson Bay down towards the south. We're seeing some warmer temperatures, so Weyburn up to 6 degrees, Estevan up to 5 degrees, Moose Jaw at 6 degrees this hour as well. Now, later on this afternoon, we're not seeing highs too high. We're just seeing them in some places down in the south just above 10 degrees. So Moose Jaw up to 11, Weyburn up to 11, and Estevan up to 11. But again, that southeast quarter could be seeing that rain later on today. Now, we're not going to be seeing too many winds today, but we are going to be seeing those increasing as we look towards our weekend, with winds likely peaking on Saturday up to about 60 kilometers per hour. So enjoy today while you can, where we're only seeing winds up to about 25 kilometers per hour in parts of the south. In Saskatoon, we're seeing that high of 9 degrees today as well, 10 degrees tomorrow and Friday, with some more rain on the way up to 10 degrees.
Saskatchewan's chief medical health officer was among those rolling up their sleeves yesterday, encouraging residents to get their shots for COVID-19 and the flu. Jacob Carr has more on the fall vaccination rollout.
Do you want them both in one arm, or would you like one in each arm? One in each arm?
Dr. Saqib Shahab practicing what he preaches, receiving both the influenza and COVID-19 vaccines as part of the Saskatchewan Health Authority's fall immunization campaign. Despite being over 5 years removed from the outset of the COVID-19 pandemic, the SHA says it is still key to keep up with COVID vaccinations.
So it's important, all the previous vaccines we received, all the immunity we built up because of COVID disease in the past, but it's great to actually receive that booster dose with the latest subvariant in it.
Dr. Ibrahim Khan from Indigenous Services Canada also receiving his vaccination, saying the influenza virus can spread very quickly, especially for Indigenous people with chronic conditions living in overcrowded housing.
For this particular flu season, we urge everybody to share tradition and not flu. And I think it's just not the individual protection. If you get a flu vaccine, you not only protect yourself, you protect your family, and you protect your community.
Shahab echoes that the importance of the flu and COVID vaccines are amplified when it comes to the most vulnerable of Saskatchewan's population.
People 65 years and older have the highest rates of hospitalization from respiratory illness-related complications compared to the general adult population. To help create a stronger immune response, enhanced influenza vaccine is available for all residents 65 years of age and older.
According to the SHA, as of Tuesday morning, over 11,500 vaccination appointments have been booked across the province. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Well, in case you missed it, more than 100 Dash-Uns have raced for glory at the 3rd International Dash-Un Competition. Races were just one part of the festival in Germany. The fastest dog completed the 40-meter track in just 4.4 seconds. The event also included some dog dancing demos ahead of the European Dog Dancing Championships coming to Hungary next month.
Oh, please take this up, Kayleen.
I mean, you're the one with a dog. Jeremy, do you have a dog?
I do not. Daryl, it's on you,
it's
my man.
You.
I can gladly lend him to either of you if you'd like to don a red gown like this.
But he'll only listen to you, man's best friend.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
His hearing's starting to go. Question of the day is where we go to next. Last week was National Name Your Car Day.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people out there name their cars, so we got to know.
Yeah, so what did you name your car?
And why? Why is important here?
Yeah, do you have one for your car?
No, I didn't name this one. You have a story.
Well, I do. So when I bought this car, I bought it from a salesman named Phil. And when I got into my new car, he was setting up the app for me, and he said, you can pick any name for it on the app, and I couldn't think of any other names in the whole world. My mind went blank, so I said Phil. And he said, like me, and I said, yes. So my car is Phil. And if you're watching this, Phil, we still call it Phil 4 years later.
Yeah, congratulations,
Yay.
Phil. You have a legacy. Jeremy, do you name your car? I don't think you seem like a name the car guy.
I don't, but in high school, I had a huge green Ford Club wagon that became known around town as the Pickle Wagon. I think my friend Gabriel named it.
Why is this not in your bio?
Driver of the Pickle Wagon.
Oh man, it was a legendary vehicle in Prince Albert.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that for the next week for sure. Question of the day: what did you name your car and why? Text it to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan the QR code on your screen. Let's take a look outside as you fill up your coffee cups. Beautiful city of Regina. We're back in a minute.
The United Nations has proclaimed 2025 as the International Year of Cooperatives. Indeed, our province knows all about them. And this morning, our Mike Siona is at the Diefenbaker Canada Centre checking out a new exhibit. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Yeah, it is, as you mentioned, all of those things. And we are here with Helena Gessner, who is the co-curator of this wonderful brand new exhibit. Tell us all about it and the cooperative movement in this part of the country.
Yeah, so this exhibit really celebrates cooperatives in Saskatchewan, around Canada, from coast to coast to coast. Celebrates the community aspects of it, the economic development for member partnerships, and then really focus on local examples in Saskatoon too.
And I love that. Now, it seems like, I mean, I was kind of floored when we were getting ready for this and we had mentioned, you know, the International Year of the Cooperative is 2025, because it just feels like such a Western Canadian rooted thing because there's so many different examples of it. What are some of those examples that we're seeing and living in our part of the world?
So around here, most people can recognize the wheat pool symbol. You'll see the FCL's Co-op logos, you know, grocery stores, gas stations. We have our local credit unions that we have with us.
Yeah, no, I love that. So there's the financial ones. I mean, yeah, who doesn't know all of the other ones that you mentioned here? But we're also looking at some of these Indigenous statues. I don't even know if that's the correct term. How does that fit into the cooperative movement?
Yeah, so right here we have Inuit and Dene soapstone carvings. So that fits in with the Canadian Arctic producers in the north. So they're the wholesaling arm for Arctic Co-ops, which is part of FCL, and they purchase art from Indigenous Inuit Dene artists up north through their local co-ops to help keep the money in their local communities and then spread it throughout the world.
Very, very cool. Well, there you go. Just a little sliver of what you can find out down here, and we'll continue to explore the gallery as the morning continues.
Mike, thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing what else you find later on this morning.
Day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're heading outside right now to grab the bus in Regina, we're sitting at 6 degrees, 4 degrees to wake us up in Saskatoon. Winds not too strong to start the day. By lunch, we'll be at 8 degrees in Regina and 6 degrees in Saskatoon. And by final bell, both cities will be sitting at their daytime highs of 9 degrees. Again, not seeing winds too strong today, only up to about 20 kilometers per hour. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. In Regina, the most common cost to fill up is $130.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $119.9. In Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up is $128.9 this morning, and the lowest you might find is $119.9. Taking a look at the farm markets, the street price of canola is at $554.02 per ton, and the futures price at $616.70 per ton. Amber Durham wheat at $282.27 per ton, and red spring wheat at $239.06 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading down at 71.19 cents U.S. Coming up in about 10 minutes here, no spoilers, but we are in conversation with the latest home cook sent home from the MasterChef Canada kitchen.
Just after 6:30 on your morning, let's get to your headlines. Healthcare employees say they're missing money on their paychecks, and they want the province to step in with emergency funding. Keenan Sorokan with why.
The IT system for Saskatchewan hospitals is once again causing headaches, this time for healthcare workers in Swift Current.
Patients in hospitals, residents in care facilities, and home care clients are not getting the care they need and deserve because AIMS is not scheduling enough staff.
AIMS, the Administrative Information Management System, has been plagued with issues since launching in November of 2022. It was paused after issues with staff scheduling and payroll and has since been phased in a number of areas. One of those phase-ins was for the Cypress Regional Hospital in Swift Current last month, and those issues are back again.
You've worked your full 2 weeks of time and your paycheck comes in at $73, which is what we've heard from one member. That's unacceptable.
SEIU West, which represents some of the affected employees, wants the province to roll out emergency funding rather than have employees worry about paying bills because the nearly 100 union grievances filed so far are taking too long. And while they wait, schedules and pay stubs are incomplete or incorrect.
If I am getting paid 3 days from now and I don't get my pay, I don't have that kind of time to wait for a grievance process to fix this.
The SHA says almost 7,000 employees are using the full scope of AIMS, and work is ongoing to resolve scheduling and payroll issues as they arise. A report from the provincial auditor last year forecasted AIMS to cost $250 million when fully implemented, about $36 million less than it cost to build the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital. Zunti wonders what's next as the AIMS rollout continues.
Their plan is to roll out AIMS in the former Saskatoon Health Region, the largest in the province, the home of facilities and programs that the entire province depends on.
Keenan Sorokan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Hamas has returned the remains of 3 more hostages to Israel. A convoy carrying the bodies arrived in Tel Aviv this morning. According to the Red Cross, the remains of 45 dead Palestinian prisoners were returned to Gaza yesterday. A 4th body was also transferred to Israel, but officials say it does not match any of the hostages. Israel now plans to open the Rafah crossing this morning to increase the amount of aid flowing into Gaza. A 51-year-old man from Yorkton is facing a murder charge after the body of a man was discovered on October 7th. Officers called to a residence on Victoria Avenue where a man was found dead. The man was identified as 51-year-old Curtis Gilman Barassa from Winnipeg. On October 11th, RCMP arrested Henry Wayne Chartrand and charged him with second-degree murder. Chartrand made his first court appearance Tuesday. If you're buying or selling something online, you now have a safe spot to make the sale. It's called a safety transaction zone, and it's at Regina Police headquarters. You can go there to make in-person deals and for things that you bought maybe on Marketplace or garage sale. It's inside the parking area of HQ. So why'd they make this spot? Well, they say they've had about 75 reports of fraud, robbery, and other crimes related to online sales.
It's where somebody meets, in the middle of nowhere, in a parking lot, in a vacant, parking lot. And sometimes in those instances, it turns into something like a robbery or a theft or a fraud. And so we just think if we can provide this opportunity for people to be able to participate in online buy and sells in a little bit of a safer manner, we're happy to do it.
Security cameras are not going to be monitored 24/7, but the video will be made available if something does go wrong. For the second time in under 3 months, the earth shook in the Esterhazy region. Natural Resources Canada says a magnitude 3.7 earthquake was registered about 18 kilometers northeast of Esterhazy on Sunday night around 11 o'clock. They're saying it's due to what they call a suspected mining event. Mosaic, which runs a potash mine in the area, says the epicenter was north of their K3 mine workings. St. Paul's Hospital and St. Paul's Hospital Foundation have merged into a single brand identity. Now, St. Paul's Hospital has served patients for more than 100 years, and the foundation has been in existence since 1982. The united brand is St. Paul's Hospital and Foundation Together for Good. The pair says connecting the two organizations is more than a new logo. It's honoring the rich history of St. Paul's, from the Grey Nuns to its partnerships with Indigenous communities, patients, and staff.
By uniting our brands, there's really a reaffirmation of that commitment to compassionate care. So it's going to position our projects that we take on, it's going to position how we collaborate with our community, and how we innovate towards better care for those that we serve.
The executive director of St. Paul's Hospital says healing doesn't begin at the bedside, it begins in relationship. So we turn our attention to the weather picture, and I want you to check out some autumn on the drive home for Heather. This is a couple minutes away from Iroquois Lake, Kayleen.
Oh, how beautiful is that? I love these fall pictures that are coming in. And of course, we want to see yours as well. You can email those to us at yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca. We'd love to show them off. Now, this morning view looking a lot more dark to start the day. We're not seeing the sun coming up for about another hour or so here, but we're sitting at an okay morning temperature of 6 degrees. We are seeing quite a bit of cloud cover down towards the south to start the day. Some southeast winds coming in at 15 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, waking up to that 4-degree temperature. We do see, again, some more cloud cover for the day, and winds very calm this morning, coming in at 6 kilometers per hour. Now, here's a look at this radar and satellite. Not a whole lot going on from yesterday into those overnight hours. What we are going to be seeing going forward, though, is that we have some rain coming up from the United States to impact us first in the morning. We're going to see some more rain coming in from Alberta later on into tomorrow. But this is what we're seeing as of this afternoon. Regina could start seeing some of that rain in the late afternoon hours. And then into those overnight hours, we're going to see that pick up a little bit down in the southeast, seeing more of that rain and possibly some storm activity down in Estevan. Now, here's about 10:45 a.m. tomorrow, so we start to think we're going to get some break from the rain there, but then we do see some more coming up from the United States as well, still impacting areas right around Estevan there. And then we see in Alberta some of that rain moving in from the north. This is at about 4 a.m. on Friday. In the north, starting to fall up there. And then as we continue on into later on Friday morning, we see it mostly moving out of the south, just impacting areas in the north. Current temperatures now showing that we have Buffalo Narrows at -4 to start the day, Prince Albert at -5, 3 degrees in Melfort and 1 degree in Hudson Bay. Some more cloud cover, as I mentioned, down towards the south, and we're going to see that pattern continue into the afternoon today. 5 degrees in Assiniboia, 6 degrees in Weyburn, and 5 degrees in Estevan. Now, here's a look at your afternoon temperatures. We'll be seeing highs of 9 degrees for both Regina and Saskatoon, and sharing that temperature will be Battlefords, Prince Albert, and Yorkton. Down towards the southeast, we start to see temperatures just a couple degrees warmer, so 11 degrees in Weyburn and Estevan with that rain. Your 5-day forecast showing that we are seeing 9 degrees for the next few days in Regina. Winds are going to be picking up as we make our way towards the weekend, likely going to be peaking on Saturday with winds gusting up to about 60 kilometers per hour. And in Saskatoon, we could be seeing some more of that rain falling on Friday. And then again, we're going to be seeing the winds going up throughout those weekend days. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is dream. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter that code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, we take you to Italy, where they were taking on Israel in World Cup qualifying. Israel working the ball out when Matteo Retegui steals it, dribbles in, bends one right into the side netting. An all-around great play from Italy's number 9, creating the chance and then finishing it off. His second goal of the match, but that one would be your must-see moment. And coming up tonight on TSN, we got a little Raptors preseason basketball as they take on the Boston Celtics. Coverage for that one gets underway at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. That's all from Sports Center. Have a great day.
Ida, today just wasn't your day.
Ida Asghari, the 4th home cook, heading home from the MasterChef Canada kitchen, and she is with us this morning. Thank you so much for doing this. Did you have fun?
I had so much fun. It was honestly a great time. I got to cook, and I got to meet amazing people who also love to cook, so it was a great time.
What did you learn about yourself throughout the course of the experience?
I think I learned I have to believe in myself more. Going into the show, I had just applied on a whim. I really didn't think I was going to get in. And so when I got the news that I was going to do the show, I was so happy. So I learned a lot about myself through that.
When you watched last night's episode back with your friends and your family, what did you see in it that maybe we didn't see that you could have done differently or better?
Yeah, honestly, there were so many ingredients in that basket, and I could have kept it a lot more simple. As Mary said, I got overwhelmed with all of the ingredients. I tried to put all of them in the dish, and that really wasn't necessary. So I would have kept it more simple, made something simple and delicious. So that's what I would have done again.
When we watch it at home, we you know, any reality show, right? We think, oh man, that's so easy. We could do that. We could do this. What are some of the things that go on during the course of a taping that you're like, you don't know that this is happening, and our attention is pulled in 7 different directions?
Yeah, for sure. I think a big thing is that while you're cooking, there are cameras on you and asking you questions, and there's stuff happening constantly. So that's definitely a challenge, that you're not only concentrating on your dish, you also have to concentrate on the stuff around you and how you act and how you present yourself. So that's definitely a challenge.
What has the journey given you?
I think continued passion for food. I, after the show, just wanted to continue cooking and get better at cooking, especially being surrounded by such amazing people, and they're all such good cooks, and it's really inspiring. So I want to be just like them.
It's incredibly hard to put your heart on a plate and hand it to some judges who you know may love or may hate or whatever it is, right? So just how challenging was that part of it for you to take that feedback?
It was really challenging, but I think a big way to improve in any situation is to get feedback. I think, obviously, I would have loved to do better in the show, but I learned a lot from it. And I think just the few times the feedback I got made me a better cook.
What would you say to somebody that's sitting anywhere at home here in Saskatchewan that thinks maybe I might want to do this show one day?
I say do it. When I had applied, I had zero hope that I was going to make it, but I think it's always worth trying. And yeah, you'll never know what will happen from the experience. I learned so much from it. I met such amazing people, and I'm so grateful to have done it. So please do it. It was so much fun.
Okay, but just how hard is it, right? You don't get cookbooks or anything, right? You have to come up with that all on the spot?
Yeah, exactly. It is as hard as it seems on the show.
Okay.
It's definitely also stressful. It's the one thing is the cooking part is just one part of it. It is a whole production at the end of the day, and so that's definitely part of the challenge is being camera ready, being on set all day, and cooking is a portion of it, but there is other portions to the show.
Ada, very quickly, what's next for you?
What's next for me? I want to pursue cooking. I want to continue cooking on the side, and obviously I'm working, but after work, and yeah, just make cooking a bigger part of my life.
Appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. It was fun to watch you, and you at home can watch the journey for MasterChef Canada every Tuesday on CTV Saskatchewan, streaming the next day on Crave.
All right, let's continue the cooking theme this morning when we check in with Janelle Pai, who is down at one of Regina's most beloved restaurants this morning. Janelle.
Hi, Jeremy. Good morning. We are down at Nikki's Cafe, and I've got Tino with me. We've got a lot to discuss here this morning, but for this first hour, we're going to talk a little bit about this new frozen section that is attached to the restaurant.
Yeah, so, well, let's go back in history a little bit, back to the COVID times, because that's how we kind of started our frozen meals, right? So, obviously, COVID, people can't come into the restaurant, so we're kind of losing sales, so we need to find a way to kind of bridge that gap. So, all credit to my brother Perry. He kind of came up with the idea of, let's just try selling some frozen dinners outside of the restaurant. So it just kind of started with, you know, some basic packaging, and we took some of our favorites from the menu, Saskatchewan favorites, Salisbury steak, turkey dinners, that kind of thing. Put it in a package, froze it, and people started buying them. So it kind of evolved from there. Then I came into the restaurant and I started putting labels on them. And then once I started putting labels on these packages, everything really started kind of flying out the door. And that's kind of when the grocery stores started calling. You know, Co-op called us and said, hey, we want to start carrying this stuff. And that's kind of when I got the idea, and I started evolving it from there and started growing it from there. And it definitely helped us during COVID. It bridged the gap in our sales, and we're able to survive that kind of tough time. The restaurant opened, and I figured, all right, the sales have been going pretty good, so let's try and take this to the next level. And then we expanded into grocery stores over the next 2 or 3 years to kind of cover a lot of southern Saskatchewan. And then I kind of got to the point where I'm like, okay, well, let's see where I could take this again. So we figured we kind of outgrew our kitchen and what we could make outside of our existing kitchen, which was just our restaurant kitchen. So we decided to build this beautiful new facility. A space opened up right next door to our restaurant. And we just kept going and going. So we opened up our kitchen about 8 months ago. And we started cooking out of there. And this store that we just opened here, which I'll go into a little more detail a little bit later on about that, but the store we opened up here was probably about 3 weeks ago. We've just had a soft opening. We haven't had a grand opening, which will be coming over the next couple of weeks. I still got to nail down a specific date, but and that's where we're at now with our frozen meals.
Awesome, Tino. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time for this one, but you and I are going to be back soon. We're going to get more into this. There's tons of good stuff, so if you got some time today, come on down to Nikki's. Tons of great stuff. You're not going to want to miss it.
It's it's October 16th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated wish going out to Shiloh, who turned 30 years old on October 13th. We hope it was an awesome day. Lots of love from your mom, Joyce, James, and your whole family. We're also sending out a big happy birthday to Xavier, one of the coolest 7-year-olds out there. Xavier's mom, dad, and sister Hazel are all hoping he has a great day. Happy birthday wishes also going out to Liam for his 9th birthday. This picture came with the message that read, "Happy birthday, my boy. Hope your day is as special as you are. Love your family." And turning 1-year-old today is Jude. Happy birthday to you, with lots of love from his mama, grandma, and uncles. And finally, happy anniversary wishes going out to Janet and Jerry. Congratulations on 65 years of wedded bliss, with love from your family. If you have any milestones coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca. You can also scan that QR code on your screen right now. Make sure you send those in one day in advance.
Chase, what's going on the radio today?
We're talking Halloween candy. Have you bought yours yet? And then have you ate it all yet and have to go and rebuy? If you're in that vicious cycle, we'll give you a nice little solution how we could be helping you out to stop, eating through it 2, 3, 4 times before the big day itself actually pops up. Plus, we're going to play Head Blank. So that's when we give you 3 headlines, one of which is actually true. That is coming up just after 7:30 this morning. And if you can guess which headline is actually true, we're going to give you a bonus word to get you off to that Sandals Resort in Jamaica. Otherwise, you're waiting until 8 o'clock for the next one, and then we'll be making a winning phone call right after 8 to find out who's winning the next trip.
All right, Chase, sounds like fun. We'll talk to you again in an hour.
See you then. Thanks.
Taylor Swift is living at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. The 12 songs on The Life of a Showgirl fill the top 12 spots on the chart, led by The Fate of Ophelia. It's the first album ever to place all of its songs in an uninterrupted string at the top of the chart. Tribute to a trailblazer, Marlee Matlin, Not Alone Anymore, explores the life and career of the actress, author, and accessibility advocate. The American Masters documentary, made by deaf and hearing collaborators and shown primarily in ASL with stylized captioning, is now streaming on pbs.org. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Time, but really quickly, I did just say it's October 16th. Oh. It is October 15th. My apologies. School has been in full swing for over a month now, and this teacher has been keeping track of what kids are saying these days.
Coming in at number 1, still, it's no surprise, is 6-7. But here's the thing, 41 is starting to get to the point they're having debates over which one's better, 6-7 or 41. So those 2 numbers are top of the list this week. Coming in.
What?
So topping the list are 2 numbers, 6-7 or 41. Next up is fa. And ball right rounds up the top 3. According to the middle school teacher, none of these words actually mean anything.
That checks.
I feel like they're going to give them meaning, though.
I thought we were talking last week about them going to proper English.
Yeah, that's right.
This is a very big departure. Let's go to a magical moment for this mother. Okay, artist Jake posted this video of his mom watching his performance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon for the very first time. Emotion took over and she cried tears of joy, proud of her son.
Oh,
this is actually a video of me watching Dancing with the Stars last night and crying.
Or Diane Keaton coverage.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Time out. We're back right after this. It's Wednesday, October 15th.
Firepower. That's what is coming. We expect it is coming from NATO.
Want more support for Ukraine? Buy more weapons from the U.S. That's the message from the U.S. Defense Secretary to NATO ministers this morning.
The problem is the grievances take time.
Dozens of healthcare employees say they're missing money on their paychecks and they want the province to step in.
We're trying to build something special here. It's dream come true kind of stuff, man, and don't take it lightly at all.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders lock up their head coach and general manager for 2 more years. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen Swatsky. Did you know that the man you get your news from sits here and sings Sabrina Carpenter in the commercial breaks?
What a heck of an earworm. I can't beat this song. And yesterday I did a bike ride to K-pop Demon Hunters. Like, I'm with it, guys.
Okay, he's hip and cool,
You've
kids.
never made me sound older either. Like,
Yeah.
Are you listening to
Sabrina Carpenter?
All right, you go back and do the weather, and I'm going to do this news here. Maybe I'll do it in the tune of Sabrina Carpenter. Dozens of healthcare employees say they're missing money on their paychecks, and they want the province to step in with emergency funding. Service Employees International Union West, which represents the employees, says the issues come from the administrative information system. The new payroll and HR system for healthcare employees across the province was rolled out in 2021 and has been plagued by multiple issues since launch, with incomplete or incorrect schedules and missing pay. These workers are looking for the province to fix those mistakes.
The problem is the grievances take time. And if I am getting paid 3 days from now and I don't get my pay, I don't have that kind of time to wait for a grievance process to fix this.
Last year, the provincial auditor forecasted AIMS to cost $250 million, 3 times more than its original price tag. The Saskatchewan NDP is going after the Sask Health Authority, saying rural residents were yet again misdirected between 2 closed emergency rooms. The NDP says that the ER at the hospital of the town of Kipling was closed at times over the long weekend, and they say the notice on the hospital door redirected those seeking emergency help to the town of Arcola, which also was closed. The NDP says this is the 5th time this summer such a misdirection has occurred.
You drive 24 kilometers to your closest hospital, which is in Kipling. You show up at the hospital, you see a simple note on the door that directs you to go another 54 kilometers to Arcola, Saskatchewan. And then when you get to Arcola, Saskatchewan, there's another note on another closed ER door that directs you to go a further 100 kilometers to either Weyburn or Estevan.
The SHA put out a statement that they say communities expect accurate information about emergency care access and acknowledge concerns about service disruptions. They are now reviewing the reporting process and identifying opportunities for improvement. Saskatchewan's fall influenza and COVID-19 immunization campaign is officially underway. Saskatchewan's Chief Medical Health Officer, Saqib Shahab, was at the Eastview Community Centre in Regina on Tuesday as part of the campaign launch. Participating pharmacies and select physician or nurse practitioner officers may offer influenza and or COVID-19 vaccinations. Here's why medical experts say it's important and how it's built.
That vaccine is based on the latest circulating subvariant that they can include in the vaccine in time for the immunization campaign. So it's important. Yeah, all the previous vaccines we received, all the immunity we built up because of COVID disease in the past, but it's great to actually receive that booster dose with the latest subvariant in it.
They're asking you to call ahead to confirm what is available at your pharmacy. Let's get over to Jeremy Dodge in Saskatoon with an update on some trials. Jeremy.
Yeah. Daryl, thank you very much. Good morning. Saskatoon manslaughter trial to start. The Crown and defense have closed their cases and are preparing closing arguments. In the Roderick Sutherland trial, Sutherland pleaded not guilty to manslaughter, unlawful confinement, and offering an indignity to human remains in connection to the death of 30-year-old Megan Gallagher 5 years ago. Court heard Gallagher was killed in a Saskatoon garage while restrained to a chair. 9 people were charged in connection to Gallagher's death. Lawyers have filed written arguments asking the Saskatchewan Court of Appeal to uphold the judge's decision in a high-profile case involving the death of a child. It was in September 2021. Bailey Maurice was killed while crossing a Saskatoon crosswalk. The driver, Taylor Kennedy, admitted to using marijuana and magic mushrooms the day before. Kennedy was charged with impaired driving, exceeding the prescribed blood concentration of THC, causing death. Last December, a judge stayed the charge, ruling Kennedy was not tried within a reasonable time. The Crown is appealing that, arguing court backlogs and case complexity caused the delay. An appeal hearing is scheduled for November 5th in Regina. Two people suffering from serious injuries after being stabbed in separate incidents in Saskatoon over the weekend. Police called to the 800 block of Bedford Road just before 7 o'clock Saturday morning. A 40-year-old man had been stabbed, was suffering from serious injuries. No word on whether anyone has been arrested. All right, Daryl, back to you with a breaking news story, I believe.
Yeah, this just coming into our newsroom this morning. Fire crews responded to a fire at an auto body shop on the 600 block of Avenue O South in Saskatoon. So it happened about 5 o'clock this morning. The fire was quickly brought under control with limited damage to the business. No one was injured. Investigators are now working to determine a cause. And the one we were talking about yesterday, and still has you talking, fire investigators trying to determine what sparked a major fire in Regina that destroyed several properties on Victoria Avenue. Wayne Mantica reports.
An orange glow could be seen in the Heritage neighborhood as firefighters battled an evening blaze on Victoria Avenue. People living on the block say they were advised to evacuate.
My kids and dogs and I had to run out of the house. Like, a guy just ran into our back door telling us to leave, and it was a huge inferno. The house was really hot. I don't know. We just stood over there and watched everything burn.
The fire began at an 18-unit condo construction site, which was quickly engulfed by flames. Neighbors say the fire was intense.
I walk outside on the deck and I look over there, and then there's just like this huge fire coming from like the construction site.
40 firefighters and 9 trucks responded to the fire, which began around 9 p.m. The blaze began to threaten homes on either side of the construction site.
It's already catching on to the other building. It's catching on to both of the buildings. One of them's completely destroyed on the side. It caught onto the one in the backyard.
In addition to the partially completed condos, 2 houses were also lost to the fire, one on each side. Across the back lane, windows cracked from the heat and plastic panels melted on vehicles. This family's garage was also destroyed.
Oh my goodness, the garage obviously is gone, but that's really it. So we're quite lucky, I think.
Fire investigators are now at the scene, but police say it's too early to tell why the construction site caught on fire. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
Your screen, a dramatic scene along 8th Street in Saskatoon at a drive-through. 2 people were inside the truck at an order window for A&W at 7:30 Saturday night. The flames started. They quickly spread to the cab. No one was injured, and it was not spread to the restaurant. An investigator is now looking into it. The Toronto Blue Jays will try to turn things around tonight in Game 3 of the ALCS.
I like our chances really any day, anywhere against anyone.
Coming off 2 losses at home, the Jays are practically in a must-win situation. Shane Bieber will take the mound tonight, and the Jays announced Max Scherzer will go for Game 4. We turn our attention to the Weather Center. If you could work in as many Sabrina Carpenter references as possible in this forecast, I would very much appreciate it.
Okay, well, you got to give me time to prepare that one.
I'll just be over here humming.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at this morning view. It's brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. Now, 6 degrees still to wake us up in Regina. The sun not quite fully up yet. Those southeast winds coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. And we are waking it up to quite a bit of cloud cover really all across the province this morning. Parts of the central zone going to be seeing some of those clouds clearing later on this afternoon. But down towards the south, that's where we're still going to be seeing quite a lot of cloud cover later this afternoon. And in the southeast, seeing some of that precipitation. More on that in just a moment. But this morning view in Saskatoon showing that we're waking up to 4 degrees, so temperatures have been staying the same in the past few minutes. Again, waking up to that cloud cover and winds coming in at 6 kilometers per hour. Now, the winds to start the day, not super strong. Those areas lighting up in blue on your screen could be seeing them up to about 25 kilometers per hour later on. So really not seeing strong winds all afternoon long. It's towards the weekend where we are expecting to see those winds picking up. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be quite gusty out there. The Futurecast showing what I was saying with those clouds starting to clear throughout parts of the central zone this afternoon. Down towards the south, still seeing quite a bit of cloud cover as we see that precipitation make its way in from the United States. Estevan having the chance of seeing some of that storm activity overnight and into tomorrow morning. Regina could be seeing that rain later on this afternoon and into overnight hours. Now into later on Thursday evening, we are still seeing that rain down in that southeast corner, and then we see some rain making its way in from Alberta, way up in the north. This is Friday about 4:15 a.m., going to be continuing to track east into the later afternoon hours. Current temperatures this morning, we're seeing -1 in Spirit Woods, so we are seeing some improvements. They were at about -6 just a few minutes ago. So the warm-up is starting. Melfort up to 3 degrees right now, 6 degrees in Weyburn, and 6 degrees to wake us up in Estevan. Today's forecast showing that we are seeing temperatures still below that seasonal average, many places reaching highs between 9 to 11 degrees, again with that precipitation down towards the south. Now 9 degrees in Regina today, 9 degrees continuing to carry us into the weekend. However, again, as I mentioned, we are seeing some more of that wind on Saturday and Sunday. 8 degrees on Monday with that rain, and 6 degrees on Tuesday. In Saskatoon, we're seeing that high of 9 degrees today, 10 degrees from Thursday until Sunday. Still seeing some windier conditions on the weekend. 7 degrees on Monday and 6 degrees on Tuesday. Taking a look at our rural forecast now. We're seeing temperatures below the seasonal average. Today, Watrous up to 9 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Wynyard, some more clouds throughout the afternoon, up to 9 degrees. And Outlook mainly cloudy with just some sun poking through those clouds with a high of 11 degrees. Some rain expected later on this afternoon down towards the South Coronach with that rain up to 10 degrees. Rockland up to 9 degrees. And Carlisle with that cloud cover all afternoon long up to 9 degrees. Now let's take a look at Watson, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. We're seeing that high of 9 degrees today. Sun and clouds throughout the afternoon, and some south winds coming in between 10 to 20 kilometers per hour.
All right, let's go back out to Mike Siona now at the Diefenbaker Canada Centre. Mike, what's going on down there?
Well, I'll tell you what, we've gone back in time and transported ourselves across the country to Ottawa circa, 1957 to 1963. I'm here with Helena Gessner of the curatorial staff at the Diefenbaker Centre. And I mean, we've been talking about the new exhibit, but when you come here, you got to come and check out all of the Diefenbaker stuff, right? Tell us about it.
Yes, so we have our main Diefenbaker One Canada exhibit that tells all about his life. But then we have 2 wonderful replica rooms. This one, the Privy Council, the Prime Minister's office, and then the other is the Privy Council chamber for people to get that experience.
And we're talking about, like, these green chairs are the actual chairs from Parliament.
Yes, so they've been on permanent loan to us all this time since we opened.
Fantastic. Same thing with the mantle. And then tell me about all of the artifacts that we're seeing on this desk.
Yeah, so everything here belonged to John Diefenbaker that he bequeathed to the university, and we've carefully curated it to make it look like what it could have been at his time.
I love that. Now, right down to every last detail. I mean, even the crown molding on the ceiling is an exact replica.
Yes, taken molds from the building and brought here to recreate the ambiance of it.
Now, you get to kind of be immersed in this space all day, every day, working here and stuff. But how often do people come in here and react like a giddy schoolboy like me when they see this stuff?
Oh, every time. I think every time. It's one of my favorite things is to bring people in here and then give them the history, right? So when you're in here, you might not know that these chairs were original, but getting to talk to people about this really brings it to life.
Very, very cool. Well, we're going to keep talking about everything going on down here, including some details on family fun days that you're going to want to stay with us a little bit later this morning to get the details on that.
All right, Mike, looking forward to it. We'll talk to you again after 8 o'clock.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, we take you to Italy, where they were taking on Israel in World Cup qualifying. Israel working the ball out when Matteo Retegui steals it, dribbles in, bends one right into the side netting. An all-around great play from Italy's number 9, creating the chance and then finishing it off. His second goal of the match, but that one would be your must-see moment. And coming up tonight on TSN, we got a little Raptors preseason basketball as they take on the Boston Celtics. Coverage for that one gets underway at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. That's all from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
boy, Aqua taking their biggest hits to the stage now.
You thought you knew us? Think again.
Aqua, the musical, will open in Copenhagen in 2028. They say it'll combine their chart-topping hits like Barbie Girl and Around the World with their personal stories woven in. The band members also say the musical will be a colorful illustration of the 90s. Would you go see it?
Well, they just hooked me with the personal stories because I don't know if you know the love triangle that existed within the band, but
I do.
This is going to be a very interesting musical.
I think she's been married to both of them at one point in their...
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there was some interdating in this band, so I would definitely go see it.
Jeremy, you in?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are just a spectacle. Their concert, I can imagine if they make it purposely like a spectacle, it'd be pretty great, I'm sure.
Group trip to Copenhagen. Let's see if the boss will put that on his black card. Question of the day is where we go to next. We can't get there by car.
Well, we can get there by van, though. We're asking you, what did you name your car? Director Corey, do me a solid here. Throw up the pickle wagon. There we are. Jeremy, can you please explain more to us about what this pickle wagon is?
This was my grandparents' vehicle. My parents inherited it, and it eventually was passed down to me when I was in about grade 10 or 11. This is the first vehicle I had that I had free reign over in the early days of my high school career.
So
and
glad
it was
that you
massive. It had seating for 7 plus the driver and room for storage. You could watch the gas gauge go down in real time. And
I'm sure you could.
Man, it was just so huge and so awesome. And looking back, it's like I didn't know what I had at the time. But
we love the pickle wagon. So thank you so much for that amazing name. We also had Richie Roy saying his first car was named The Carrot.
The Carrot.
Yeah. Rebecca saying that she named her car Sparkles. She loves sparkles. And then we have Shauna saying, I call my parents' SUV the Ladybug Transformer. It's a 2025 Buick Envision. It has all the buttons for everything.
Wow. That's what Janelle Lepai drives, and she's convinced that the front wheels and back wheels turn when you turn the corner.
Well, now we can call it the Ladybug Transformer.
Turn.
Thank you so much. Text us. What is your car's name? 10400 standard message rates may apply. You can also scan that QR code. See if you can top the name, the pickle wagon.
You cannot.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is dream. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter that code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Time for your morning mystery. Chalkboards ready, markers ready. They still don't have a cent to them. It is a show today. Clue number one, this TV show pioneered the use of a multi-camera setup with a live audience, which became the standard for sitcoms. Okay. Clue number two, it's the story of a housewife on a mission to find fame, but always running into pushback. Kaylene's nodding her head. I think she knows it. It was the first show to feature an intercultural couple, an American man or woman and a Cuban man who are also husband and wife in real life. And thanks to Keeleen looking up the National Day calendar.
Yeah. So I don't know if this one's fair. I looked up the National Day today. And
which seems to be the answer to most of these, so thank goodness you do. What do you got, Jeremy? I Love Lucy. The answer is...
Yes.
I Love Lucy. The first episode of the show aired 74 years ago today on CBS.
Wow.
That is your morning mystery.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
All right, it's time now for a look at our school day forecast brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're heading outside in Regina, we're sitting at 6 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds, 4 degrees in Saskatoon, 8 degrees by lunch in Regina, and 9 degrees by final bell. That is our expected daytime high. In Saskatoon, we'll be sitting at 6 degrees at that lunchtime hour. Definitely weather for a jacket for the school day forecast. And by final bell, also sitting at that daytime high of 9 degrees with winds coming in up to about 20 kilometers per hour. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $130.9, but you can find the lowest at $119.9. In Saskatoon, common cost to fill up $128.9, but you might find the lowest at $119.9. Taking a look at the farm markets, the street price of canola at $554.02 per ton, and the futures price at $616.70 per ton. Amber Durham wheat at $282.27 per ton, and red spring wheat starting the day at $239.06 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 71.19 cents US. After the break, frustration for healthcare workers over missing money. Stay with us for those details.
About 7:30 on your morning. Let's get to your headlines. A pedestrian has died after being hit in Prince Albert. Police say they were called to the Highway 2 and 55 area at about 4:30 Saturday morning, where a woman was found unconscious and not breathing. She'd been hit by a driver of a vehicle while walking in the area. She was taken to hospital where she later died. The woman driving the vehicle remained at the scene. No other information has been made available. The province says temporary housing units are being delivered to Denair Beach to support residents displaced because of wildfire earlier this year. Hundreds of homes were destroyed by fires this past summer, as you'll remember, which caused about 20,000 people to be displaced. Denair Beach was one of the hardest hit communities. On Tuesday, the province says there were currently 26 housing units in the community, with an additional 5 arriving in the next few weeks. In a statement, Denair Beach Council says the temporary housing units are critical in supporting residents, thanking the town of Creighton for providing space for housing units provided by the SPSA. The province says cleanup of 218 lots is near complete, with over half of those being backfilled. With the union representing Canada Post workers moving to rotating strikes, Canadians can expect to see some mail, but there will be delays, and a number of services that rely on physical mail are facing some uncertainty right now. SGI, for one, is reminding you to hold on to your temporary license or ID card while you wait for a new one to come. It is protocol which existed long before Canada Post, but certainly comes in handy right now.
When you come to get your new driver's license or identification document, SGI will write you a 90-day temporary driver's license or ID card that you can use for a time period of 90 days while you await your official document to come in the mail.
Rotating strikes should allow mail to flow, which means you should start getting your documents. There is some concern in Canada's auto sector this morning with news that Stellantis is moving production of the Jeep Compass from Brampton, Ontario to a plant in Illinois. The news broke Tuesday as the company announced it's investing more than $600 million US to reopen its Belvedere assembly plant in Illinois. Stellantis temporarily paused production of the electric SUV at Brampton plant at the start of Trump's trade war. This morning, union leaders were quick to respond.
Donald Trump has been very clear from the beginning that he was coming for our auto jobs, and companies now are making decisions to appease Trump in this trade war, and we have to do everything possible as a country to protect these jobs. And that means right now Brampton is ground zero, and we expect both our federal and provincial governments to fight for these auto jobs with everything we have.
U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says more support is coming for Ukraine at a meeting of NATO ministers this morning.
Need our allies to step up, and they did, and they have in those commitments. Now those commitments will soon translate into capabilities. So much.
Hegseth promised for firepower for Ukraine as part of a U.S. weapons sales agreement with its allies. Under the deal, European nations would buy arms from the U.S. to give to Ukraine. Pete Hegseth didn't say this morning if the arrangement includes U.S. Tomahawk missiles. NATO's Secretary General says $2 billion have already been committed, with more pledges expected. Voters in Newfoundland and Labrador have chosen change.
We didn't quit. We kept believing in each other because we knew it wasn't over until that final buzzer and all the votes are counted.
The PCs, led by Premier-designate Tony Wakeham, took 21 seats. That's just enough for a majority in the 40-seat legislature. On the night that saw the lead go back and forth, the majority wasn't sealed until the last district came in. He ran on a platform of affordability. Shoppers who made online purchases through Canadian Tire may have had their personal information compromised. The company says the retailer's other banners were also impacted, that being Sport Chek, Marks, and Party City. And the breach includes names, addresses, emails, and birth years, as well as encrypted passwords and incomplete credit card numbers. Despite the breach, the company says it's not enough to access accounts or make purchases. A new report this morning shows Earth has reached its first climate tipping point, the widespread end to coral reefs. Coral reefs were an essential habitat for marine species and vital for food security and buffer coastal areas from storms. The report, produced by 160 international scientists, says the death of coral reefs is just the first in a series of potentially irreversible tipping points, and there are even bigger impacts on the horizon if changes aren't made. Next month, governments will gather in Brazil for the COP30, the annual United Nations Climate Conference. For the second time in under 3 months, the earth shook in the Esterhazy region. Natural Resources Canada says a magnitude 3.7 quake was registered about 18 kilometers northeast of Esterhazy on Sunday night, around 11 o'clock. They're saying it's due to what they call a suspected mining event. Mosaic, which runs a potash mine in the area, says the epicenter was north of their K3 mine workings. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are putting full backing behind their head coach and general manager, signing them to 2-year extensions. Here's Donovan Mace with more.
Just days after clinching first place in the West and earning the right to host the division final for the first time in 6 years, general manager Jeremy O'Day and head coach Corey Mace rewarded with 2-year contract extensions.
We're trying to achieve home playoff games and put ourselves in positions to win Grey Cup. So certainly excited to continue to do that. But come to work and represent this organization and this fan base, the historic meaning of what that S means to this league and obviously this province. It's dream come true kind of stuff, man, and don't take it lightly at all.
Now, should O'Day remain at the helm of the football operations side of the team for the duration of this contract, he will enter his 3rd decade with the green and white, spending the past 7 as general manager.
Got to experience it when things are tough. You obviously you find out a lot of things about yourself when you go through challenging times and about people, and it just motivates you to do better.
O'Day hiring Mace ahead of the 2024 season, and together the team has already amounted 21 wins, just 12 losses, and a tie, along with 2 West Final appearances in as many seasons.
Ultimately, it just comes down to the decision, and it was a quick conversation. I'll put it like that. So. I couldn't be more excited to be somewhere, so I'm lucky to have the best job in the league.
Bringing a renewed winning culture back to Saskatchewan, which hasn't won a Grey Cup in more than a decade.
The leadership they've shown has, and the culture change that's sort of happened here, and the success that they've seen, and I think stability and continuity in pro sports is really, really important.
And now attached at the hip, both the Day and Mace's contracts are set to expire at the end of the 2028 season. Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
I asked, then how did Tyler react, your husband at home? He must have been fist pumping like crazy.
Oh, yeah, he was hyped.
Excited guy. All right.
All right, let's take a look at this weather picture here. It's brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. Now, we haven't started to warm up quite yet here in Regina. We've been sitting at 6 degrees since 6 a.m., but at least the sun is now getting up in the sky. We are seeing just a little bit of fog to start the day, and seeing some of that cloud cover going to be continuing on into the afternoon and overnight hours. 4 degrees still in Saskatoon. Some southwest winds coming in at 6 kilometers per hour, so very calm right now, and that cloud cover to wake us up as well. Now, I wanted to show you this only because we're going to be seeing winds remain low today. All those areas lighting up in blue could just be seeing them up to about 25 kilometers per hour, which is not too strong. But as we continue on, starting on about Friday, we're going to start seeing these winds going up quite significantly. Gusts could be up to about 60 kilometers per hour hour on Saturday and up to about 50 kilometers per hour on Sunday. So it's going to be a gusty weekend. Enjoy these low winds while you can. We do see some precipitation, though, making its way up from the United States. Likely going to be impacting areas around Regina in the late afternoon and into the evening and overnight hours. Also, later on into the evening, impacting areas around Estevan. That could also be coming with some storm activity, as we just saw some of those yellows and oranges up on our screen. When we look forward to tomorrow evening, we see a lot of those clouds clearing from the center part of the province, but we still do see some of those clouds and rain falling in the southeast corner right around Estevan. And then if we turn our attention up to the north, we start to see some of that rain moving in from Alberta. This is at about Friday in the very early morning hours and continuing on into the later parts of the morning as well. Now, let's turn our attention to these current temperatures. -1 to wake us up in Spiritwood, -5 in Prince Albert. So things have actually been going down in Prince Albert there. 6 degrees, though, in Moose Jaw, 6 degrees in Weyburn, and 6 degrees to wake us up in Estevan. Later on this afternoon, we're seeing some of these afternoon temperatures actually go up. So we were expecting about 11 degrees in Moose Jaw. Now it's gone up to 12 degrees in Weyburn and 11 degrees in Estevan with that cloud cover. Now the 7-day forecast showing temperatures just below the seasonal average. But again, we are talking about those winds going up on the weekend and some more rain on the way on Monday for Regina. For Saskatoon, we're just talking about some rain falling on Friday and temperatures remaining around 10 degrees until the end of the day on Sunday. And again, we are seeing those winds for the weekend.
Style for over 20 years.
Regina Thunder are rolling into the postseason this weekend, taking on the Edmonton Wildcats at Leibel Field. This is the running backs coach. This beautiful man is Paul Tokars. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Are you guys ready for Edmonton?
Yeah, for sure. It's on to the Edmonton Huskies. Last week we were 7-1 in first place, and now today, starting our work week as we start practice later today, we're 0-0, and we're on the chase for a PFC championship, but it starts with the semifinal here against Edmonton on Sunday.
Paul, I got to ask you, you were in charge of the running backs, and the run game carried this team through the first 3, maybe 4 weeks of the season. Are you the favorite coach on the staff right now for Scott McCauley?
Between myself and our 2 offensive line coaches, Jason Koscheck and Sheldon Yield, we definitely get quite a bit of the praise, but it's really the whole collective group. It takes the whole group to run the ball successfully. And at least from a running back perspective, we just have to make everyone right by putting the ball in the right spot and extending the play. And either we get tackled or we run through the end zone. So that's kind of been the key to the first portion of the year and moving into the playoffs.
What makes your running backs group so special?
We have a dynamic group. One really key attribute about all the running backs is they're a little bit different. So no matter who's playing at a high level that given day, we can attack defenses with speed or power or dynamic ability to make people miss, which is definitely a huge credit to why we've had success so far this year. The guys have played really well, and I'm excited to see how they play on Sunday.
What challenge does Edmonton pose?
Their athletic group, they were one of the preseason favorites in the Prairie Football Conference, and they're hitting their stride at the end of the year here. So we're definitely going to have to prepare our players to play at a high level because nothing's going to be given to us. We're going to have to earn it on Sunday and moving forward.
It's going to be a little bit colder than it's been all summer long. How do you prepare your players for that?
Yeah, well, we got a good look at it on Sunday, playing in tough conditions, which led to us running the ball very well. And that's just sort of the nature of the season, right? If you're playing football in cold temperatures, that means your team's having success. So it's definitely a privilege to play in the cold.
I was just with the Regina Sports Hall of Fame when they inducted the 2013 Regina Thunder squad into the Hall of Fame. Scott McCauley spoke beautifully about that team and the messaging that he provides to your team based on the performance of that 2013 team. How much do you look back at past squads and what they were able to do in planning and preparation and mental focus?
I think it's key looking back at the past and seeing how we can replicate it in the future. You know, that group definitely left a legacy, and this group in 2025 is trying to leave a legacy, and I think we can learn a lot from that group. It's been a while since we won a national title, but I think that whole group leans on these players. And I think our alumni are fantastic about coming back and reaching back out. I think it's something that we all can look from to have success in the future.
Paul, in 20 seconds or less, why should somebody come and see this game this weekend?
Two fantastic teams. You have a record-breaking rushing attack versus athletic group in the Edmonton Huskies. Be there 1 o'clock Sunday at Leibel Field. Get your tickets at the gate or on the website, reginathunder.ca.
It's a 1 p.m. kickoff. Leibel Field is a great environment if you've never been. Paul, thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Here's what's happening in our community. One-of-a-kind jewelry, October 21st at 9:30. Got to make reservations, but it's happening at the Serb Club at 2775 Avonhurst Drive. Call 306-539-4669. A turkey fall supper happening Sunday, October 19th at 4 p.m. over at St. George's Orthodox Cathedral, 2005 Edgar Street. For more information, call 306-352-0112. St. Joseph's Catholic Church Fall Supper happens Sunday, October 19th at 4:30 p.m. over at 201 4th Avenue East in Kenora. If you want your event shown here, email us, reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca, but do so at least 2 weeks in advance.
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for
October 15th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated wish going out to Shiloh, who turned 30 years old on October 13th. We hope it was an awesome day. Lots of love from your mom, Joyce, James, and your whole family. We're also sending a big happy birthday wish out to Xavier, one of the coolest 7-year-olds out there. Xavier's mom, dad, and sister Hazel are all hoping he has a great day. Happy birthday wishes also going out to Liam for his 9th birthday. This picture came with the message that read, "Happy birthday, my sweet boy. Hope your day is as special as you are. Love from your family." And turning 1 year old today is Jude. Happy birthday to you with lots of love from his mama, grandma, and uncles. And finally, happy anniversary wishes going out to Janet and Jerry. Congratulations on 65 years of wedded bliss with love from your family. If you have anything that you would like to celebrate, send us your milestones to Your Morning Saskatchewan at ctv.ca. Make sure you send those in 1 day in advance.
All right, let's head back out to Janella Pye, who is checking things out at Nikki's Cafe this morning.
All right, well, you're joining us back down at Nikki's Cafe here this morning, a local family-run business right here in Regina. Tino, thank you so much for having us this morning. Right behind you are some of those good frozen meals. Let's talk about those. What inspired you guys to create them?
Well, we started creating them because of COVID, as I mentioned in the last segment. However, as we started making the frozen meals, we kind of started realizing what kind of need there was for these frozen meals and what different demographics really appreciated them. So firstly, seniors, like one of our biggest customers are seniors. We get senior orders all the time, and even in the grocery stores, they tell me it's a lot of seniors that buy these because, you know, once you get to a certain age, sometimes you just don't want to cook, or you're cooking for only one person and all that, but you still want something, you know, nutritious, something that's sort of a comfort food and that kind of thing. And I like to think that we kind of helped fill that gap for a lot of seniors in the city. And we do get a lot of their kids coming in and buying meals for their parents, just telling us all the time, you know, how this has helped their parents, how it eases some of the concerns that kids have because they're not living at home anymore, and they just want to make sure that their parents are eating well, right? Another gap that we figured was I noticed during seeding and harvest season that a lot of farmers came in and started buying these things in bulk, you know, 10 meals, 15 meals, 20 meals and all that. So I kind of saw the writing on the wall and realized, okay, during seeding and harvest, these guys, they don't have time to really sit down and have a hour-long dinner, right? They need to get out of their combines, eat, get back in, and just continue on with the whole harvest season. So the farmers, every seeding and harvest, we have special farmer pricing, and the farmers have been amazing for us, and we're hoping to expand that going into the future.
That is fantastic. What a great idea, and delicious looking, might I add. So definitely make sure you're coming on out, checking these out, maybe getting a treat or two because they look delicious. Tino, thank you so much for this. We're going to be back once more. We're even going to get a sneak peek into the kitchen.
What's your favorite song to play right now on the radio dial?
Oh, my goodness. That's a tough one. Honestly, I keep on singing probably the loudest at somewhere over Laredo, just at the end when Lainey Wilson really pumps it out.
Absolutely.
And then, I can hear like dogs howling too when I sing it, but there's a reason she's on the radio and I'm just kind of behind the scenes too.
You're also on the radio.
I just drop code words.
Yeah, what the code words
on the radio. That's what I do, not singing. So if you missed it this morning at 6 a.m., I want to make sure you have these. So our 6 a.m. code word was melon, and the 8 a.m. one is flower. So now you have two of the code words. Go online, purecountry927.ca. Enter those because just after 8 o'clock, we're calling up another winner, and someone is off to Jamaica. So again, melon was 6 a.m., 8 a.m. was flower, and then we'll have your next one coming up at 10 this morning.
You got me fired up again. Now I want Lainey Wilson at Country Thunder, Saskatchewan. I know we don't know who's coming yet, but if that's not there, I might rage.
Then I'll drown her out with my own singing too, and that's what people want.
Yes.
Thanks.
Tributes are pouring in for D'Angelo, the R&B icon who passed away after a battle with pancreatic cancer. Jamie Foxx taking to Instagram, calling D'Angelo one of God's special creations and that his impression will be felt for generations to come. Doja Cat, meanwhile, said he was a true voice of soul and inspiration to many brilliant artists. D'Angelo broke through with his first album, Brown Sugar, in 1995, which he followed up in 2000 with a chart-topping Voodoo, which won Best R&B Album at the Grammys. He also won Best R&B Performance for that album's single, untitled How Does It Feel? Michael D'Angelo Archer was 51. And another celebrity passing to tell you about, Drew Struzan has died at 78. He was the artist behind the iconic posters of movies like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, and The Thing. Niecy Nash-Betts has been named Out 100 Icon of the Year. She's known for her roles in shows like Claws and Reno 911. She tells ABC News she's beyond proud and says, quote, "It means an awful lot for me to be a role model for the LGBTQ plus community." Other honorees of the Out 100 awards include Doechii, Bob Mackie, Rosie O'Donnell, and Tremel Tillman. And happy birthday to Keisha Cole, the R&B artist known as a princess of hip-hop soul, turns 44 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Alex Stone, ABC News.
Time for your sidebar because we bet on birthday ages. I win. I get to go first. Here's a very talented dad.
I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be.
Ron surprised his family in the kitchen, belting out this number, singing in front of them for the very first time. Oh, my goodness.
I like the teen that shut the laptop like, we're singing.
Here's the kicker, Jeremy. All these kids have sang on America's Got Talent, and obviously it came from Dad.
Huh. But they have never heard him sing?
Guess not.
Odd.
Guess not.
All right.
All right, there's some talent in this family. Now to a magical moment for this mother. Artist Jake posted this video of his mom watching his performance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon for the first time. Emotion took over her as she cried, tears of joy. And I don't blame her. I start crying tears of joy when I see my toddler say kitty. So we love our kids, right?
Kitty.
It's me watching my kids dance. Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's me watching Jeremy describe the pickle wagon. It's a car. If you named your car, let us know what it is. 10400 is the text line. We're back right after this. It's Wednesday, October 15th.
The problem is the grievances take time.
Dozens of healthcare employees say they're missing money on their paychecks, and they want the province to step in.
Donald Trump has been very clear from the beginning that he was coming for our auto jobs, and companies now are making decisions to appease Trump in this trade war.
Stellantis is moving production of its Jeep Compass to the U.S., but Unifor and Ottawa are pushing back to protect the auto industry here at home.
Screaming out, I want my mom, I want my mom, I'm dying, I want mom.
An Auckland man's death from drinking liquid meth camouflaged as Canadian beer is calling attention to Canada's role in meth exports. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Your Morning Saskatchewan. My name is Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
W5 doing a deep dive into that meth story. We'll bring that to you at 8:30. If you're not around for that time, set your PVR right now.
Yeah, we have lots more on the way, including the weather forecast, which does have some rain on the way if you're waking up with us in Regina.
All right, so you're going to dress appropriately, and we're going to get to your news update for this part of the hour, and it starts with this. Dozens of healthcare employees say they're missing money on their paychecks, and they want the province to step in with emergency funding. Service Employees International Union West, which represents the employees, says issues have come from the Administrative Information Management System, or AIMS. The new payroll and HR system for healthcare employees across the province was rolled out in 2021, and it's been plagued, they say, with issues despite multiple attempts to launch it. With incomplete or incorrect schedules and missing pay, these workers are looking for the province to fix their mistakes.
The problem is that grievances take time. And if I am getting paid 3 days from now and I don't get my pay, I don't have that kind of time to wait for a grievance process to fix this.
Last year, the provincial auditor forecast aims to cost $250 million. That's 3 times more than the original price tag. The Saskatchewan NDP is going after the Saskatchewan Health Authority, saying rural residents were yet again misdirected between 2 closed emergency rooms. The NDP says that the ER at the hospital in Kipling was closed over the Thanksgiving weekend at times. And they say a notice on the hospital door redirected people to Arcola, which was also closed. The NDP says this is the 5th time this summer that this has happened, putting lives of Saskatchewan people at risk.
You drive 24 kilometers to your closest hospital, which is in Kipling. You show up at the hospital, you see a simple note on the door that directs you to go another 54 kilometers to Arcola, Saskatchewan. And then when you get to Arcola, Saskatchewan, there's another note on another closed ER door that directs you to go a further 100 kilometers to either Weyburn or Estevan.
The SHA said in a statement that communities expect accurate information about emergency care access and acknowledged serious concerns about service disruptions. They are now reviewing reporting processes and identifying opportunities for improvements. Turning now to Jeremy Dodge with an update on a Saskatoon manslaughter trial we've been following. Jeremy, the latest.
Daryl, the Crown and the defense have now wrapped up their cases in this manslaughter trial, each side making their final arguments to a jury who will have to decide the fate of a man charged in the death of a Saskatoon woman. The CTV's Laura Woodward now on what was said.
The 12-person jury hears closing arguments in the trial of Roderick Sutherland. He's pleaded not guilty to manslaughter, unlawful confinement, and offering an indignity to human remains in connection to the death of 30-year-old Megan Gallagher. Court heard Gallagher was killed about 5 years ago inside a Saskatoon garage while she was restrained to a chair. Both lawyers referenced a statement Sutherland gave to police. The defense said Sutherland went to police on his own, that he was afraid of the people in his garage who killed Gallagher. The Crown argued Sutherland didn't tell the full story, that he was more involved than he claimed. The defense told the jury that while it was Sutherland's garage, he had no control over what was happening, and that it wasn't safe for him to step in, given the group's gang ties. The credibility of a key witness was also a focus in closing arguments. The Crown told the jury that Bobby Thomas was honest. He had nothing to gain by lying on the stand. Meanwhile, the defense argued Thomas had a motive, that he wanted revenge on Sutherland for going to police, and his testimony can't be trusted. 9 people have been charged in Gallagher's death. Sutherland is the last to stand trial. The next steps will be for the judge to charge the jury, providing instruction on how to reach a verdict. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
All right, Daryl, back to you and the latest on some major fires this morning.
Jeremy, thank you. The investigation continues into Regina's Heritage neighborhood that destroyed several properties. You're still talking about this at home. It began as a condo construction site on Victoria Avenue, a block north of the General Hospital. The condo units quickly engulfed in flames, as you see on your screen, and began spreading to homes on either side. 2 houses were also destroyed, along with a backyard garage across the alley. Residents inside nearby homes say they could feel the heat.
My kids and dogs and I had to run out of the house. Like, a guy just ran into our back door telling us to leave. And it was a huge inferno. The house was really hot. I don't know. We just stood over there and watched everything burn.
Fire investigators have begun searching for a cause. There is no estimate on damage. And this just coming into our newsroom this morning. Fire crews responding to a fire at an auto body shop on the 600 block of Avenue O South in Saskatoon. So it happened just before 5 o'clock this morning. It was quickly brought under control with limited damage to the business, they're telling us. No one was injured, and they are now trying to work toward a cause. Alberta teachers trying to rally in support of an anticipated strike dragging on.
I have a lot of doubts that the province is going to come anything close to what we want.
The 2 sides sat down yesterday for the first time since the strike started. There is a new offer on the table from the teachers. Teachers are planning to hold more rallies throughout the week. This 9-year-old Los Angeles Dodgers fan is getting a lot of attention for his team spirit. Dallas Perez never left his feet during the last week's 11-inning walk-off win over the Phillies. He's got a lot of attention in the stands that night, and he's become famous online now. The team even replies to a social media post saying the big win was for him. The Dodgers won Game 2 of the NLCS last night, beating the Brewers 5-1. All right, love the fandom there. There's a lot of people like that you can find in Mosaic Stadium. And although the game's out of town this week, we do need to know what the game day is going to be like.
Well, we're going to be seeing some winds as we look towards the weekend. Today, though, the wind's going to be very calm. To start the day, we are seeing some fog moving in over top of East Regina. Now, this morning view is brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. 6 degrees still to start the day in Regina. Now, we do have some of those winds currently coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. And we are going to be seeing, once the fog lifts over top of the city, we're still going to be seeing those clouds cover the city into the overnight hours. 4 degrees now to wake us up in Saskatoon. Winds even calmer in Saskatoon. We're going to continue seeing on that cloud cover throughout the afternoon into the overnight hours, as I mentioned, for areas down towards the south. But we are going to be seeing some of those clouds clearing throughout the central zones as we see some rain making its way up into the province from the United States. Now, Regina could start seeing some of that rain in the late afternoon, early evening hours into the overnight hours, especially in areas down towards Estevan. As we continue on into Thursday morning, we're still seeing some of that rain down in that southeast corner. It appears like we're going to be getting a bit of a break, but then we also see some rain moving in from Alberta, and that's going to be impacting areas towards the north. And then into Friday morning, very early, this is about 4:30 a.m., we do see some more of that rain down in that southeast corner around Estevan. So keep that in mind as you are planning your next few days into the weekend. Current temperatures now across the country showing that Alberta quite cool this morning, -3 in Calgary and -6 in Edmonton, 6 degrees in Winnipeg, 7 degrees in Thunder Bay, 11 degrees over in Toronto this morning, 9 degrees to wake up the people in Ottawa, Montreal up to 10 degrees, Halifax at 13 degrees. Later on this afternoon, we'll be seeing highs of 14 degrees in Vancouver with that sunshine in Calgary up to about 12 degrees, 12 degrees in Winnipeg this afternoon with that mix of sun and cloud. And as we turn our attention over to the east, we're seeing Toronto with some rain this afternoon up to 14 degrees. Montreal, mix of sun and cloud up to 12, and Halifax up to 18 degrees. Your 5-day forecast in Regina showing that we're seeing that 9-degree temperature persist until Saturday, and then it gets a little bit warmer on Sunday. However, we are going to be seeing some gusty conditions on Saturday, up to about 60 kilometers per hour in some parts of the province. 9 degrees today for Saskatoon, 10 degrees, then carrying us into our weekend. Some more rain on the way for Friday. And then Saturday, with that high of 10 degrees and that sunshine, we will also still be seeing those higher winds. And those winds will also be carrying us into Sunday as well.
On this day in 1970, the Quebec government formally requested assistance from the Canadian Armed Forces in the October crisis. October 15th, 1989, Wayne Gretzky tied and surpassed the NHL's all-time scoring record during a game against the Edmonton Oilers. And October 15th, 1993, Nelson Mandela and South African President F.W. de Klerk jointly won the Nobel Peace Prize.
In case you missed it, a team of scientists say they have created a kind of super wood that is stronger than steel. It's literally called superwood. It's made by a company called InventWood. They say it's 10 times as strong as steel, 6 times lighter, and they hope it can be more earthquake resistant, also easier on foundations of homes. Now, they strengthen the wood by chemically treating it before hot pressing it. Makes it significantly denser. They say it has a higher strength-to-weight ratio, higher than most structural metals and alloys. So here's the future.
This just goes to prove Taylor Swift's influence. She releases a song called Wood, and then a couple weeks later, we see this.
That's what that song's
amazing.
about. Yes,
It's the influence,
Kids,
people.
that's what it's about. Let's go to our question of the day. What did you name your car? Last week there was National Car Day. We know this song is very popular. Some people have some pictures along with their stories. Kayleen?
Yeah, so this one made me chuckle. Margie wrote in and said Alice because she has an LS motor. Get it? LS? Alice? No, that one gave me a chuckle. We have this answer saying my SUV is called XE. It's a BMW X5. Chef Linda saying I had a blue Kia Soul named Blueberry, and my current is named Beastie. Like that one. Tommy, full name is Tommy Hawk, lifelong Blackhawks fan from Bentley on our text line there. We also have Leanne from Nipawin saying we had a Sunfire. We named it Target because someone hit us, got it fixed, then got hit again, got it fixed again, and then it happened again. So I think the name Target is quite fitting.
My dad had a Sunfire for a year, maybe 2, and I nicknamed it Tiffany after the girl that should have been driving it, not my father.
Oh.
Yeah. It was a very 16-year-old girl car.
Okay. Brooke wrote in and said, named my car the Blue Bomber because the color was similar to Mega Man's. We called it Blue for short. My partner's current vehicle is named Tommy, and the previous one was Jeremy.
Speaking of influence, named Jeremy after Jeremy Dawson.
Yeah.
All right.
We also have a 2000 Sierra truck called Rusty from our text line. Thank you so much for texting your answers for today's question of the day. This one is always one of our favorites.
Rusty.
There have only been around a dozen CFL playoff games that have ever gone into overtime, and one of them was this classic between the Saskatchewan Roughriders and BC Lions in 2010. The Riders were up by a touchdown with only seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, but the BC Lions would score on a remarkable Hail Mary pass from Travis Lulay, which would be reeled in by Emmanuel Arsenault. The Riders found themselves in a pressure-packed overtime, with both sides scoring touchdowns on their first possession. But with BC only getting a field goal on their next try, the Riders had a chance to put it away with a touchdown in double overtime. That's when former Regina Ram Jason Claremont caught his first Saskatchewan Roughrider touchdown and the game winner. The Riders winning one of the wildest overtime playoff games in league history, 41-38. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and Wood Finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Saskatchewan's fall influenza and COVID-19 immunization campaign is underway. Saskatchewan's Chief Medical Health Officer, Saqib Shahab, was at the Eastview Community Centre Tuesday as part of the campaign launch. Participating pharmacies and select physician or nurse practitioner offices may offer influenza and or COVID-19 vaccinations. And here's why medical experts say it is important and how it's built.
that vaccine is based on the latest circulating subvariant that they can include in the vaccine in time for the immunization campaign. So it's important. Yeah, all the previous vaccines we received, all the immunity we built up because of COVID disease in the past, but it's great to actually receive that booster dose with the latest subvariant in it.
You are asked to please call ahead to confirm what is available.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
In the 1990s, pediatric cardiologist Dr. Lori West made a breakthrough discovery. She's here with us right now to tell us about that breakthrough discovery and show us how she met some people whose lives she made a very special interest on. Good morning, Dr. Lori West. How are you doing today? And you're joining us today with Michelle Gillies.
Morning. Good morning. Pleasure to be with you.
All right, so let's go to you first, Dr. West. So what was it like for you to walk in and see those people whose lives you made such an impact on?
Oh, it was a tremendously moving experience. It's not very often that one has a chance as a researcher and as a cardiologist to see a whole bunch of people who've had a similar experience based on the research that was done over the years, and to see these children growing up into healthy, active young adults.
And Michelle, what was it like for you not only getting to meet Dr. West, but other families who went through something similar to what you went through?
It was amazing. Like my daughter says, it's magical meeting Dr. West because she's like a superhero and does magical things.
Dr. West, you made this breakthrough after considering the malleability of the infant immune system. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you discovered and what led you to this discovery?
What we discovered was that, as you say, the malleability of the infant immune system allowed them to receive donor hearts from donors who weren't the same blood group as they are. And this was a kind of a rule, if you like, that was never questioned before. But because we understand the young immune system and how it works, we were able to propose that this barrier could be crossed. And what that did was that opened up the possibility for many more donors to be available for transplantation for infants who were desperately waiting for donor hearts.
Wow, a truly amazing discovery there. But Michelle, Natalie, your daughter, was born with a condition that essentially meant that one side of her heart wasn't working. Can you take us through how Dr. West's research helped save your daughter's life?
Yeah, so Natalie was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome. She was getting too much blood to the lungs and not enough to the body, so she was a blue baby. She went into cardiac arrest at 2 days old, causing damage to the heart and making heart transplant our only option. But there wasn't very many viable hearts. But because of Dr. West's discovery, there were available hearts, so she gave us all the hope.
And Dr. West, your breakthrough was funded by the Heart and Stroke Foundation, which continues to fund research throughout the country today. Why is it so important to continue funding all kinds of research projects, big or small?
We can't make any progress without research, whether it's a small step that takes years to reach a big step. There's nothing that can be moved forward without the benefit of research. And so it's critical to continue to perform research, to support research, to fund research, because otherwise there's no progress in medicine.
Well, thank you both so much for taking some time this morning to share your stories with us.
Thank you, Kaylee.
Thank you.
Your morning is brought to you in part by the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Fund more breakthroughs. Beat heart disease and stroke.
All right, let's head back out on the go and find Mike Siona once more at the Diefenbaker Canada Centre.
Well, sadly, our time at the museum is coming to a close, but not before we talk to Helena Gessner one more time, and we're talking about Family Fun Days here at the Diefenbaker Canada Centre. Give us the details on that.
So we started that to really be able to engage with intergenerational families so that people can bring their grandparents, themselves and their kids in to engage with the exhibits, not just to wander around and look at it, but providing them with activities to do and then have something to take home.
Very, very cool. When is the next one coming up?
Our next one's this Saturday, 12 to 4:30. So yeah, we're really excited to bring these families in to look at community powered.
Fantastic. I love that. And we are talking about that community powered, the cooperative story. We're standing here in front of a silo and talking about the agricultural co-ops. And I mean, it just really does hit home here in Western Canada, doesn't it?
Yeah, so if you think of, like we said before, the wheat pool, if you think of Vico, chocolate milk, that was a cooperative product. Things like that.
Yeah, I love that. We're looking at this whole display with the home of co-op member and the UFA, and there's your wheat pool variety tests right there. I mean, it is truly rooted in the province, and this exhibit speaks to that?
Yes, and it really speaks to like the family connection. So that wheat pool, the variety test sign, those two individuals in there were actually teenagers that were the supervisors for that. There was that really big connection to educating children all the way through adulthood on cooperatives.
Very cool. And those names on the sign, Larry and Bobby Callio. I can see it out of the corner of my eye. Come and check it out. It is absolutely wonderful, and admission by donation. No excuse not to get down here to the Diefenbaker Canada Centre.
Greetings, everyone. Style and creativity were front and center as the Fashionative Fashion Show made its return to Regina. The event brought designers and models together in celebration of Indigenous Fashion Week. CTV's Damian Smith tells us more.
In 2016, Chelsea Reset started the first edition of Fashionative in Regina as part of International Indigenous Fashion Week.
Celebrating Indigenous fashion is needed, and you know, not so long ago we weren't allowed to celebrate this, and now here we are on a stage and showcasing it to a lot of people.
Since then, the show, which features a runway model style, has traveled around the world. This is the first time since 2016 that it's returned to its roots. For fashion designers, this is a big opportunity for them to show off their creativity.
I am so nervous, like, oh my goodness. I came all the way from Kelowna, so my nerves have been all over the place. Back in May, I would never have thought this was possible.
6 designers participated, showing a range of clothing. Some models are more experienced, while others are just getting started.
When you're out here, it takes a lot of guts. Like, you know, we all deal with like insecurities and stuff that we carry from other lives or our ancestors. You know, intergenerational trauma is real, and when you're scared, it's the greatest opportunity to be brave.
Reset understands the industry from both sides. She started as a model herself, but realized that she prefers to work behind the scenes, and that's how Fashionative was born. Reset has loved seeing other models transform from the makeup room to the stage.
When we do rehearsals or when we do trainings, just seeing them being shy and quiet and then coming on stage and just like blooming.
Fashionative plans to come back to Regina again next year to provide more opportunities for Indigenous designers, models, and more to showcase their talents on the runway. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle is brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
It's about 8:30. Welcome back to Your Morning. An update on a high-profile THC-impaired driving case involving the death of a child in Saskatoon is where we begin. Defense lawyers have now filed written arguments asking the Saskatchewan Court of Appeal to uphold the judge's decision to stay proceedings. Stacey Hine reports.
In September 2021, 9-year-old Bailey Maurice was at a Saskatoon crosswalk when she was hit and killed by Taylor Kennedy's truck. At the scene, Kennedy told officers she used marijuana and magic mushrooms the day before. She was charged with impaired driving exceeding the prescribed blood drug concentration of THC, causing death. But last December, Judge Jane Wooten stayed the charge, ruling Kennedy was not tried within a reasonable time. Matters at Canadian provincial courts must reach a conclusion by 18 months. Wooten ruled Kennedy's matter took about 6 months too long. The Crown is appealing, attributing part of the delay to COVID backlogs and citing data showing Saskatoon provincial court cases were delayed by about 4 months in 2022. Prosecutors also say a late charter issue from the defense made the case more complex. Kennedy's lawyers argue the judge made the right call. They cite the judge's ruling that the case was not complex with one charge, one accused, and one incident. They note Wooten said the Crown didn't need formal notice to recognize charter issues were likely to be central to the trial. They also say Wooten was best placed to decide if the pandemic caused delays, and her choice not to assume so without sufficient evidence was not a legal error. Kennedy's lawyers are requesting a 5-judge panel to hear the appeal instead of the standard 3 as they challenge part of a previous Court of Appeal decision. Now, the appeal hearing is set for November 5th in Regina, but that date may change pending the panel size decision. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, the ongoing Canada Post dispute may have many of us feeling frustrated as we try to navigate the uncertainty. Residents are being warned there are still likely some delays and patience will be a key. Hallie Mandrick with what you need to know.
As the union representing Canada Post workers has shifted to rotating strikes, Canadians can expect to see some mail, but delays and backlog will continue to be a challenge.
I'm holding off on my donations because the mail's not moving. And as far as, I always look forward to getting the mail for my statements and that, but nothing's coming.
I mail birthday cards to my children and grandchildren, and I get my bills by mail from Sask Energy in the city. So now I have to keep track on a calendar of when I'm due to pay those, because otherwise I'd fall behind.
It's also unfortunate news for folks waiting on personal documents, such as a driver's license.
As of right now, we're still just kind of unsure about how much of a delay we're going to be dealing with when it comes to getting those documents out to people, with rotating strikes still ongoing, but we'll have a little bit of a better understanding of what that delay looks like in the weeks to come.
According to SGI, folks waiting on a driver's license are offered a temporary one. It's a protocol which has existed long before the Canada Post strike, but certainly comes in handy in instances like this one.
When you come to get your new driver's license or identification document, SGI will write you a 90-day temporary driver's license or ID card that you can use for a time period of 90 days while you await your official document to come in the mail.
As the future of the strike remains uncertain, those who spoke with CTV say they're remaining optimistic, while being mindful that the upcoming holiday season could be impacted.
I'm glad to hear that there's going to be some delivery now with rotating strikes, so should be getting some mail, which I'm glad to hear.
I buy my Christmas presents and mail them to my grandkids. I'll have to figure out another way to get my presents to the kids.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A new series of W5 begins with a shocking revelation. Canada is the biggest drug exporter of meth to New Zealand. In Part 1, Avery Haynes investigates how the death of an innocent young man in Auckland exposed the Canadian cartel pipeline.
At a storage unit in Auckland, New Zealand, a man carries out cases of beer from Canada. Just days later, an innocent victim would die from that beer.
My brother was charismatic, the life of the house.
21-year-old Aidan Segala lived with his sister Angela and brother-in-law Billy in Auckland. One day, Aidan came home with free beer that his boss had given him. He took one gulp.
He was screaming out, I want my mom, I want my mom. I'm dying, I want mom.
I say, Mom! And I say, yeah, I'm here. I'm here, son. I'm here.
Rushed to hospital, Aiden spent 6 days in a coma. He died of multiple organ failure from a lethal dose of methamphetamine, an illegal and highly addictive synthetic stimulant. Aiden's brother-in-law started dumping out the cans. Some were filled with beer, but not all.
And I was like, hey, wait, this looks like liquid glue that's coming out of this can.
Police raided the rented storage unit where Aiden's manager had been captured on camera, removing cases of beer. An officer videotapes and describes the staggering scene they found inside.
It was very confined. I could barely walk around.
Towering pallets of beer made in Canada, complete with the Maple Leaf logo, and white crystals blanketing almost every surface. Buckets of it. 700 kilos of liquid meth being crystallized.
You have the right to remain silent.
Aiden Segala's manager, later convicted of manslaughter, was getting rid of the excess beer, not knowing some cans still contained meth. New Zealand is in the midst of a meth crisis, and shockingly, Canada is fueling that addiction. The two largest busts in New Zealand history both originated in Canada, hidden in beer and this.
These 713 kilos of meth came from Canada, hidden in maple syrup.
It's kind of sad in some ways that we keep coming and saying we're getting bigger and bigger seizures.
In 2023, New Zealand seized more meth from Canada than anywhere else in the world. In 2024, the most intercepts involved meth from Canada, 171, about 3 meth seizures from Canada every single week.
Just this tonnage coming our way out of Canada.
Detective Superintendent Greg Williams is the director of New Zealand's National Organised Crime Group.
You have a reasonably dynamic organised crime environment in Canada. From what we're seeing, the scale of it, you've got some really significant sophistication up there.
And tonight, Avery follows the meth pipeline from Canada to New Zealand, chasing leads that police here did not follow. That's tonight on CTV National News. There is growing concern in Canada's auto sector this morning with news that Stellantis is moving production of the Jeep Compass from Brampton to Illinois. The news broke Tuesday as the company announced it is investing more than $600 million US to reopen its Belvedere assembly plant in Illinois. Stellantis temporarily paused production of the electric SUV at Brampton plant at the start of Trump's trade war. This morning, union leaders were quick to respond. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have locked up their head coach and general manager, now vice president of football operations and GM Jeremy O'Day, and head coach Corey Mace signed 2-year extensions that keep them in Regina until the end of the 2028 season. Mace, who has a great stiff arm, as you saw there, has a 21-12-1 record as a head coach and has taken the club to back-to-back West Finals. O'Day has been the architect since 2019, and both are pretty happy to stick around.
We're trying to build something special here, and obviously with the hiring of Corey and kind of the trajectory that we're going is obviously what we're trying to achieve. You know, we're trying to achieve home playoff games and put ourselves in positions to win Grey Cup. So certainly excited to continue to do that.
When you sit back there and you look at, you know, how fortunate that we are as a family, and myself personally, to be able to come to work and represent this organization and this fan base, the historic meaning of what that S means to this league and obviously this province. It's dream come true kind of stuff, man, and don't take it lightly at all.
The Toronto Blue Jays will try to turn things around in Game 3 of the ALCS.
I like our chances really any day, anywhere, against anyone.
Coming off 2 losses at home, the Jays practically in a must-win situation. Shane Bieber takes the mound. Max Scherzer will get the Game 4 start. A lot of eyeballs will be on that. A lot of rodeo fans in this province, and we need to get them to the PBR Saskatoon Classic.
All right, well, I'm the one that can help. The PBR Saskatoon Classic is coming to SaskTel Centre in Saskatoon October 24th and 25th, and we want you to get in on all the action. Enter online now at ctvsaskatoon.ca or ctvregina.ca for a chance to win a family pack of 4 tickets for the Saturday night show. Now let's turn our attention back to this weather picture. It's a foggy start to the day in Regina. Regina. We've been watching this fog move in over the past hour or so, so it's not quite starting to lift yet. We also have not changed temperatures since about 6 a.m. this morning. We're still sitting at that 6-degree mark. The high this afternoon is only going to be about 9 degrees, so we're not going to be warming up all too much into the afternoon either. We do have some southeast winds coming in at 15 kilometers per hour in Regina and about 9 kilometers per hour in Saskatoon. We're also waking up to that cloud cover in Saskatoon as well, although we are going to be watching as that cloud cover kind of pushes away from Saskatoon later on in the afternoon while the clouds remain down towards the south. Today's wind gusts not going to be all too strong. Those areas lighting up in blue could be seeing them up to about 25 kilometers per hour. However, the reason I wanted to show you this is because these numbers are going to be getting bigger and larger numbers and as we make our way towards the weekend. On Saturday, we could be seeing those winds peaking at about 60 kilometers per hour. So be aware of that. The windy weekend is on the way. Futurecast showing some rain moving up from the United States. Going to be seeing that rain down towards the south later on into the afternoon and evening hours. Estevan going to be seeing most of it during those overnight hours and into early tomorrow morning. And that does come with the chance of seeing some storm activity as well. Into tomorrow afternoon, we seem to think it's going to push off and then it does return. So again, areas right down in that southeast corner going to be seeing rain really until Friday morning is when that's finally going to push away. And then we also see some rain moving in from Alberta, really impacting the north part of the province. Current temperatures showing that Spiritwood is now at 0 degrees, -4 for Prince Albert, 0 degrees in South End, 6 degrees in Regina, 4 degrees in Yorkton, and 6 degrees in Weyburn and Estevan to start the day. Later on this afternoon, we'll be seeing temperatures from about 9 degrees in Yorkton up to about 12 degrees in Moose Jaw. So we're not really seeing too much of a difference in these afternoon highs all across the province. Now, the 5-day forecast showing that Regina going to be seeing that temperature of 9 degrees all the way into the weekend, but we did mention that winds could be peaking at about 60 kilometers per hour on Saturday. So you see that windy icon up there. Now, you don't see the windy icon on Sunday, but we still could be seeing winds up to about 50 kilometers per hour in Regina on that day. And tomorrow, getting a little bit warmer in Saskatoon, up to about 10 degrees. And that 10-degree temperature will carry us into the later parts of the weekend as well, with some rain on the way for Friday.
But I keep coming back like a revolving door. Said I don't want you less, but I just want you more. So I keep coming back. Why you always come running on me?
Gateways Counseling is back with us now to continue our discussion on Katie Milkman's book, The Science of Getting from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. So, Judy, last time we spoke about motivation and impulsivity. Can you just kind of recap for us what we spoke about?
Yeah, so very quickly for motivation, we use those strategies of the fresh start. So we maybe started on a Monday or maybe after holiday to sort of trick that brain and get us going. And then with impulsivity, there were 2 strategies. There was strategy of temptation bundling. So we bundled something we really like to do with something we don't like to do, or gamification, where we kind of made a game of it and helped us to kind of get points and get ourselves going.
So the next topic we're moving on to today is procrastination. For people who are unaware, what do you define that as?
So procrastination is just putting things off, not getting to doing it, right? And it's tied in with present bias. So we really want to have that instant gratification. We want to push off things that we don't enjoy doing. And globally, it's found that adults, 20 to 25% of them suffer with chronic procrastination. And it's tied to things like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and low self-esteem.
Let's talk about some of those strategies now that might be able to help with procrastination.
So we have what we call commitment devices, and they can be soft or hard, and they're things that help take away a little bit of our flexibility and force us towards goals. And so there was a study done that is an example a bit of a soft commitment device, where they did it with doctors, and doctors they found were overprescribing medications to their patients, antibiotics, and they felt a little bit get pushed by some of their patients. So they divided them into two groups. There was a study group, the control group. Study group wrote a letter, a pledge letter, and they said, I'm not going to overprescribe antibiotics, only given as needed. And then they posted it in their waiting room, and the controlled group did nothing. What they found is with the study group, it actually reduced the amount of antibiotics by 1/3. So just doing a pledge can kind of increase our capacity or our goal success by 1/3.
All right, we only have about 30 seconds left, but let's dive a little bit deeper into those soft and hard commitment devices and how we might create them.
Yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna go quick step. So soft, it gives us a little bit more flexibility. Hard, it doesn't. So you might, with a soft one, you might do a pledge, you might get involved with groups, you might, tell people. With a hard one, it's a harder choice, so limitation, you might block yourself from a casino, or you might force yourself into a savings account that you can't get your money out of. So just something along those lines, hey?
All right, thank you so much for your time. Once again, that was Judy Wright with Gateways Counseling. You can head on over to their website to learn more about what it is that Judy does and how she can help. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is dream. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter that code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Okay, let's head back out on the go one more time with Janelle Lepie, who is finishing up her morning at Nikki's Cafe.
All right, well, unfortunately, our morning here is coming to a close, but not before we talk about some history. So, Tino, let's talk about this wall here, because this is where it's all held.
So the store, we kind of made it into a tribute to my dad, Nicky, and all that. So we made this wall here. It's a collage of pictures done by Rap Media, which did an incredible job with this. And it just kind of starts off with Nicky immigrating from Greece. So this is him in Greece. He came into Pier 21 in Halifax when he immigrated to Canada, then took a train across the country to Regina. And then moving forward, we kind of go from the past, present, and future. This is him at the Diplomat. Him and my uncle, they had the Diplomat together. And then his first restaurant that he owned in Davidson, Saskatchewan. And then we just slowly move around to just memories from Nicky's to the present. And that's Nicky today. They're holding up a piece of bacon. He's very proud of his thick-cut bacon here that we have at Nicky's. And I just wanted to show you the kitchen here really quick, because this is kind of the most important piece of our new business and all that. Because I mentioned earlier that we outgrew our last kitchen. So this kitchen just gives us the ability to make more frozen meals, to expand even more into grocery stores and that kind of thing. So we got our production line here. You're looking at some cabbage roll soup being made right now, which is going to be cooled down quickly and then packaged and then sent to the grocery stores or sent to the store right in here.
Amazing. Well, it smells delicious and it looks delicious. This was such a fun morning, Tino. Thank you so much for having us out.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Our pleasure. And that wraps things up for us down here at Nicky's Cafe this morning.
Taylor Swift is living at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. The 12 songs on The Life of a Showgirl fill the top 12 spots on the chart, led by The Fate of Ophelia. It's the first album ever to place all of its songs in an uninterrupted string at the top of the chart.
Keep remembering things that are gone. It makes me feel like there are things we lost that I'll never remember, you know?
Here's a look at the first trailer for Rebuilding. Josh O'Connor plays a cowboy who loses his ranch to a wildfire, then finds family and community as he tries to recover. Rebuilding opens in select theaters November 14th and across the U.S. November 21st. A tribute to a trailblazer. Marlee Matlin, not alone anymore, explores the life and career of the actress, author, and accessibility advocate. The American Masters documentary, made by deaf and hearing collaborators and shown primarily in ASL with stylized captioning, is now streaming on PBS.org. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Record alert. A man in Alabama has set a Guinness record with his very long beard, dwarfed only by his hair. Danny New brings us this story.
In the Santa Claus, Tim Allen's beard grows in seconds, but for an Alabama man named, actually, Rudolph.
When did you reach the point of like, oh, I could maybe break a record with this?
Probably about the 8th year.
After more than a decade of growing out his beard, 59-year-old Rudolph Martino just set the Guinness World Record for the longest natural beard locks.
When does the feeling stop as you work down the beard?
Probably halfway.
Guinness has the record listed at 3.5 feet, but Rudolph says he applied in January of 2024 with that length. So, while Guinness was doing all the necessary research...
But over that period of time, it's now 4 feet long. Yeah.
But this personal trainer actually began this journey about 20 years ago when he, brace for it, started growing out his hair.
It actually was a statement for me. It was like a sign of rebellion.
Rudolph says he began growing out the beard to complement his hair, which now measures out to 8 feet.
Sometimes I used to have pains in my neck or in my shoulders because it's so much. I'm sure it weighs some pounds, a lot of pounds.
Another pain? Rudolph says he has to keep his beard tucked into his shirt so it doesn't get caught in the car door. However, despite that hassle, Rudolph insists he is never going to cut the beard because it is a part of him now. After all, it did help launch him into the record books, which then got this reaction from his 13-year-old son, Eamon.
Oh, he was excited. He was saying, my dad, he was glad for me. My dad is known around the world.
If you were wondering, Rudolph says he washes the beard every 2 weeks and the hair every 3 weeks, which he says takes days to dry. Overall, he says the hair is hard to take care of, which I can understand since, it is hard maintaining perfection. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
I'm an everyday kind of hair washing dude. How often are you?
Yeah.
I'm every second day.
Every second day.
Yeah.
So can you imagine going that long?
Yeah.
I can imagine Jeremy Dodge with hair that long. In that van.
Oh, man. Not quite.
In the van.
Not quite.
In the pickle wagon, as he named it.
The pickle wagon.
Let's get to our sidebar. All right, bad joke written in the prompter. I might as well be the one that reads it. Why did the mushroom get invited to the party?
I know this one. He was a fun guy.
Yes, he was a fun guy. It's National Mushroom Day today. Portobello, button, you can celebrate all of them. Do you have a favorite? Or maybe a go-to mushroom meal? I do not. My wife doesn't like them. They don't enter our house very often.
Oh, I love mushrooms, but I don't get to buy them very often because my husband doesn't like them.
Sometimes I love them so much they grow in my yard.
Now that's love.
That's dedication. Jeremy, what do you have for us?
All right, anyone else? Can you relate with this little one? Oh, one tired panda. Said a research base in China. This cub was born earlier this year, already a pro at napping. And if you're wondering why it's kind of grayer than you're used to with pandas, it's because the lack of black hair compared to white hair, which ends up creating a gray-looking blend. A couple look more like a panda, a regular panda, by the time it turns 2.
He was so still off the top, I thought it was a photo.
And then all of a sudden he moved, and I was like, oh.
No. See right there, that could be a picture. Oh,
yeah.
This adorable little fella.
That's my spirit animal.
Is it? This one might be mine.
All right, well, more than 100 Dashuns have raced for glory at the 3rd International Dachshund Competition. I'd love to see you do this, Daryl.
see me race on all fours?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, okay. All right, after the show. This is going to be our sidebar tomorrow.
Who am I racing?
Director Corey, of course.
Well, no, he's low to the ground. That doesn't count. That's cheating.
All right, well, these races were just one part of the festival in Germany of the fastest dog completed. The fastest dog completed in 4.4 seconds. Wow.
Okay, you do the interpretive dance and I'll do the dash and race. We'll see you back here tomorrow on CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan.